Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. We got ETH in the news, and you're going to want to hear it. Jed McCaleb and selling his XRP. We got the SEC, Brad Garlinghouse. We got Coinbase. Is it in trouble or just a glitch? We're going to talk about that. XRP Ledger Labs and smart contracts. We got Faster Payments Council and Ripple. You're going to want to know every single bit of this, ladies and gentlemen. Ripple partner, the clearinghouse, $2 trillion in daily average transactions. And what about 36,000% gain for XRP? $122 or $216? We got two technical analysts agree on what they see. We will talk about that right now. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at Dig Perspectives at the top of the screen. Everything that we're talking about here today. Right now, $981 billion market cap for cryptocurrency. We're off by almost 2%. Good morning. It is July 10th, 2022. Bitcoin right now, 21,200 plus. 1,100 plus, almost 1,200 for Ethereum. XRP still holding the number 7 spot at 33 cents right now. We're up 6.9% on the 7-day. Range of price really quickly here, 34 to 35 cents. You can see it's a tight trading range right now. We'll keep an eye on it. We're going to hear something from a technical analyst. You're going to want every single bit of this, but I tell you, I want to show you this first. This is Masterworks. And for the first time ever, you can invest the way the richest people in the world do by buying into blue chip art. I'm telling you, the finest art on the planet. Look at some of this works and the similar returns they're getting. Now, everything has a risk to it, but I tell you, 19.5, 12%, 13%, 11%. I own some of that. I own some of the Christopher Wool too. I just bought it the other day. And another painting, the AHA painting he has, 17%, 21%. Look at this. And I tell you, there's 450,000 people that have participated in this unicorn company, Masterworks, and their ability now to offer fine art to people like us. I do know that at the last sale of paintings that they had, if you had invested $45,000, you would have gotten $60,000 in back. Now, I do know you can also track the ones you're interested in and see the progress of how much they're filling up. So they have shares. It's $20 a share. You can invest, obviously, whatever you feel comfortable with, but check out the link underneath the video. I absolutely love the ability to diversify into fine art or commoditized fine art. I love it. Now, this right here, Ethereum has become the leader, and it didn't even get a free pass for it, for hackers. Stealing digital assets to the tune of over $1 billion. Well, at least they are a true leader in something that they didn't get a free pass for. You can see the numbers right here. I have so many questions. Look, I've got a lot of questions about XRP. I ask them on this channel. I got a lot of questions about Ethereum. I got a lot of questions about Bitcoin too. We got a lot of questions about Jed McCaleb, when he's going to run out of the XRP he's been selling, the 9 billion of it. Well, Leonidas tells us here, Jed will be selling 4.2 million XRP per day this week. His 22.1 million XRP will run out on Saturday, July 16th, this coming weekend. It looks like. That is exciting. It took 8 years, 1 month, and 25 days since announcing his sales to finally get rid of his 9 billion XRP. I have to feel like that is probably some kind of schedule that was ordered. I can't confirm that. I'm speculating on it, just like I speculate on it that who did he sell it to? Did he sell it to the Fed or the U.S. Treasury? I've even seen it suggested, did he sell to JP Morgan or other investment banks? I don't know the answer, but I would love to know. This here is something else we need to pay attention to. Stephen Hubert, shout out to him. Today is the 72nd day that Judge Netburn is working on her latest appeal-proof order, and the 475th day since the SEC refused to hand over the documents for the first time. Oh, we'll be watching this. I got my little folding chair, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, this week, we could see a ruling on those emails, or hopefully we do. But this is the damage
Since
done
the
here.
SEC filed their lawsuits against Ripple, we have signed dozens of new contracts with banks, with payment providers around the world, and I think only one here in the United States. The lawsuit effectively has stymied the United States customers. Like, well, if the SEC is doing this, and some of these are public companies, like, we're not going to touch this until there's resolution. That just puts us further behind.
It really does. It's so well said by Brad Garlinghouse right here. And there is a lot of fear in this space. And Sam Bankman-Fried has warned from FTX, a substantial fraction of cryptocurrencies are empty products with real crash potential. Well, you know what? I think Sam's dead on the money here. Brad Garlinghouse has said as much. We've said as much on this channel. I really believe that it is a real problem that there is 20,000 plus cryptocurrencies. And I think every one of us, whether you're new to crypto or not, we all realize there is not 20,000 problems to solve. That is the real test. What are we putting our money in? That's the question. Coinbase users unable to withdraw to bank accounts. Now, is this just trouble coming for Coinbase now, the way we've seen for Celsius and other platforms? Or is this just a glitch? When I look at this very quickly here, it does suggest that it's just a glitch. And it says it's isolated incidents, basically. I'm not going to read through all of this, but they said they're currently investigating an issue with U.S. bank instant withdrawals, and they're in contact with the payment processing partner regarding this issue. We will keep you attuned to it. I do want to remind you, it was back in May when Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, told us there is noise about disclosures and they have no risk of bankruptcy. So I'm just trying to be full disclosure here. I'm not trying to be an alarmist, but it is something we want to pay attention to and make sure it doesn't really bloom into something bigger than just a glitch or a few isolated incidences for certain customers. We will keep an eye on it. I am a Coinbase customer. I haven't tried to withdraw my funds to my bank account, but I don't have huge holdings on that platform. I have removed the majority of my holdings, just because I feel uncertain in these times and I feel better on cold storage. You can do so also with Ledger and underneath the video. 2 years ago, we embarked on a journey to design smart contract features for the XRP Ledger. We're talking about XRP Ledger Labs. Shout out to Weed Say When and the rest of the team. July 30th, 2020, we published a blog with the title XRP Ledger Labs is working on the Hooks Amendment for the XRP Ledger. And basically what we're talking about here is one of the biggest things for XRP Ledger, but he's biased, says Michael. Today, the world can build layer one smart contracts on the XRP Ledger with our new published browser-based Hooks builder on our live Hooks testnet. Smart contracts on the Ledger. And let's break this down like Dark Defender style right here. 1. XRP Ledger has a testnet offering smart contracts by Hooks. 2. Hooks equals smart contracts for the XRP Ledger. 3. Hooks is capable of doing what the virtual Ethereum virtual machine Solidity smart contracts could do. Conclusion: XRP doesn't need any other network for smart contracts, and it's going to do it at a more efficient rate. So you tell me, ladies and gentlemen, what are people and the free markets going to decide to do when they find out they can get the same thing done more efficiently and for a lot cheaper? I tell you, I think we know the answer already. Now, I played this the other day, but I have talked about this often, and I'm not going to stop talking about it because there is a real big red flag with Tether, and it just got a lot bigger, to be honest with you. And it is this right here with the CTO of Tether being grilled about the reserves that they have. And the person interviewing the CTO of Tether basically calls him out and says, you are not pegged to the dollar. You are pegged to your own portfolio. Ladies and gentlemen, that right there is a problem. But wait till you hear the rest of this problem. And we have a lot to look at, but this could bring a huge downward motion and huge downward price action to the market. If Tether gets called out by the government or a regulator, this is a huge problem for crypto.
5 billion by the end of July this year. So the most important thing when you are running a stable coin and you want it to be tethered to the underlying national currency, that in this case is the dollar, is having instruments in your portfolio that track the underlying currency, and of course you have to have the right type of reserves, as we have seen with U.S. Treasuries. We were able to fulfill around $7 billion in redemptions in 48 hours, 10 billion in 1 week, and around 20 billion in 1 month.
Paulo, thank you for that clarification, because I think what you explained there is that Tether is not literally pegged to the dollar. As the name and marketing suggest, it's pegged to your portfolio of assets, and that worth is determined by what the market believes, which isn't always stable and isn't always a dollar. It went as low as 96 cents earlier this year. So that may not be obvious to everyone. Thank you. Let's move on.
Very quickly, she just dropped it on him like a hammer.
To those reserves. As you said, you're reducing the amount of commercial paper. You ultimately want to get that to zero. Have you ever used commercial paper holdings as collateral?
No.
Uh-oh.
You've never used, have you ever used treasuries as collateral?
Not that I know.
Not that you know. You're the CTO, bro. That is not a sufficient answer.
And do you have an outside management firm that manages treasury bills and commercial paper and your reserves?
Sorry, can you repeat that question again?
Does an outside firm manage your holdings of reserves of commercial paper, treasury bills, etc.?
No, we have.
No, they have an in-house team, he goes on to explain. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not good. USD Tether, and let's just very quickly here, let's take a look here, okay? Tether, let's take a look. 65 billion market cap right here. 48 billion 24-hour volume. I want you to imagine what the market looks like if they get called to carpet and they get shut down. Think of it for a moment. What's the crypto market look like then? Look, crypto's not going away. But I do believe that there's going to be a watershed moment for this private stable coin that is imitating a US dollar without being properly regulated. You don't think that this is going to be a problem? Look, I digress. Look, here I believe is the solution staring us right in the face. It's Jeremy Allaire from Circle and USD Coin, which is now launched Eurocoin. And they're going to do it to the same compliance, regulatory standards that they launched USD Coin. USD Coin's done more than $3 trillion in transactions, by the way. And then there's this. I want you to notice the last part of this interview that he did a week or so ago. And I want you to know what is going on here. So he's going to say in the end of this, he's asked about, have you talked with the Fed? Would you like to talk with the Fed? And he has talked with the Fed and the Treasury, and he's going to say that in this statement. But I want to play this and let you hear that he talks about the idea that public and private relationships are where innovation bring it to the public sector. It's always been that way. But what I want you to hear at the very tail end is he says that crypto is making its way into FX markets, which means money markets, cash markets, currency, the FX market, right? Very key moment that he says this. Listen to this.
Every single major payment system innovation of the past almost 75 years has been private sector led. The messaging system of wires, the check clearing system, ATMs, credit cards, debit cards, PayPal, NFC, stablecoins, all these have been private sector led, and they'll continue to be. And so the important thing is that the underlying risk, safety, soundness, and the role of the Fed can be preserved, but the technological innovation cycles are really going to continue to be driven by the open internet and private sector innovation.
Have you met with the Fed or anybody that represents the Fed, and would you like to?
I've had the opportunity to meet with a lot of leaders in the federal government, in the Fed, and other places. I think the Fed is quite open-minded and thoughtful about these issues, and I think the Treasury Department as well. I think private sector innovation plays a huge role in the financial system. 95% of of money issued is issued by private sector institutions.
And I'll end by saying you're launching the Eurocoin, a stable Eurocoin. Tell me how that is going to work. Same way, and how difficult was it to convince the powers that be involving the euro to allow this?
Check it out.
Well, so Eurocoin is being introduced this week. It's a token called EuroC. And it's operating under the same framework that regulates USDC under electronic money transmission statutes. So it's a one-for-one backing held entirely in euro currency within the regulated U.S. banking system. The technology is very similar. It can be used on blockchains and digital wallets and exchanges. And we see huge opportunities for these additional international stablecoins as these crypto markets become kind of FX markets as well.
Gotcha.
As these crypto
Jeremy, please come
markets
back.
become FX markets as well. You got to hear that again right there.
The technology is very similar. It can be used on blockchains and digital wallets and exchanges. And we see huge opportunities for these additional international stablecoins.
As these additional international stablecoins.
As these crypto markets become kind of FX markets as well.
These crypto markets become FX markets as well. It means money, right? And that's what stable coins are. And you have to wonder if we're really watching. This is why I believe Tether in a rug pull or collapse is so very close here. Because for one, it's clear from the CTO that they are not operating the way Circle is in the reporting, compliance, and regulation. It's not happening. That is very clear from the CTO of Tether. That is not my opinion anymore. He made that very clear. So to me, the on and off ramps have to be clear. They have to be regulated and compliant, trustworthy, and vetted. I believe Circle and USD Coin is that choice. That's why they're also launching a Euro coin. And what you would imagine now is, or I do at least, is two pools filling up with water. That water is digital stable coins that are trustworthy and legitimate. Then you get enough water from those stable coins, maybe even CBDCs as well, in that pool. And then you can start to do large value cross-border payments. And I think that's a big deal because we're seeing the Faster Payments Council and Ripple have launched a crypto in payments survey designed to gauge industry perspectives on the use of blockchain and cryptocurrency in payments. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am speculating, but I believe this is a sign that we're getting paid. This is a sign that we're right, because this is the very thing that grabbed my eye when I first discovered Ripple and XRP. It was 2017, and it was the Federal Reserve Task Force. Ripple improves speed and transparency of global payments. I believe this right here is the acknowledgement that everything we know from 2017 and before is coming to fruition. Ask yourself, would the Federal Reserve Faster Payments Council be involved with Ripple, knowing that they're being sued by the SEC for the help to gauge industry perspectives on the use of blockchain and cryptocurrency in payments, if they thought Ripple or XRP was some kind of a liability? I don't believe it, not for a second. I believe it is validation for me, and I'm not trying to sell a used car. Everyone has a different risk appetite, and that's mine. Did you forget about Ripple partner in Wells Fargo? Because I did. It never hurts to have a fresh reminder. So much is happening in this space, and it really is. And I want to remind you, because it is the clearinghouse that is working with Wells Fargo, and that is a Ripple partner, to challenge the dominance of SWIFT. All of this is coming out around the time that the Faster Payments Council is holding surveys to gauge perspectives on blockchain and crypto use for payments. How big is the Ripple Partner Clearinghouse anyway? This is a list of the membership. Bank of America, Bank of New York Mellon, Capital One, Citi, you see it all here, Deutsche Bank, HSBC, JP Morgan Chase. The list goes on and on. Wells Fargo, US Bank, Truist, TD Bank, Santander, PNC, MUFG. Should I keep going? Well, let's go to this number. On the first day of the clearinghouse, way back in 1853, the clearinghouse exchanged checks worth $22.6 million then. Within 20 years, the average daily clearing topped 100 million. The current daily average approaches 2 trillion. The Ripple partner, the clearinghouse, does daily averages approaching 2 trillion. While we are watching the Federal Reserve, the Faster Payments Council, help with Ripple, helping them to figure out what blockchain use and cryptocurrencies and payments they should go with, knowing full well they have a private ledger for banks, the open permissionless ledger, XRP ledger, for the public use. It is a public good. What do you think's going to come of it? I think this case gets out of the way. We may see something spectacular, and it may be just like history repeating itself. Take a listen to this quick clip of the 36,000% gains it received in 2017, 2018.
Is that it's liquid immediately, and last year we saw, maybe in the history of global finance, one of the most insane rallies that ever happened. Obviously at the top here, XRP, which is Ripple's coin, returned something like 360x. That's a whole other conversation. Why is Ripple so valuable? I don't know if anyone knows that.
Well, a lot of us do, and maybe you're the one still in the dark. But you know what? We understand that it's happened before, and we know a lot more about what Ripple has achieved and XRP. And you have to ask yourself, as Eggreg Crypto and CoinsKid have shown, Phase A and Phase B, it is really, really interesting that if XRP keeps on rhyming, the same Fibonacci targets are met, then we have a $216 XRP, which they agree that it is inevitable and imminent at some point here. Now, if you go with the 36,000% gains that we saw in 2017, that would put us at about $122 per XRP at this point. I'm not saying these things are going to happen, but I'm saying I'm seeing the fundamental news that something that rhymes with it has a possibility of happening. And that's enough for me as a speculator to place my bets. This is not financial advice. This is just my digital perspectives. And on this day, that's where I'm at. I'll catch all of you on the next one.